Ahmedabad, about our institute, the Communications Management Program, and the admissions process. I will take about 15-20 minutes. I will just run through a couple of aspects, and then maybe I will, respond to the kind of questions that you have. Okay? So now, first of all, let me kind of quickly brief you about the institute. It was established in 1991 by the Mudra Foundation for Communications Research and Education. The mission of MICA is to be a preeminent communications management school. The vision of MICA is to develop innovative professionals in the practice, development, and management of communications to serve the needs of industry and society through education, research, and advocacy. Now management in communications, which is equivalent to a PhD program. The 2-year postgraduate diploma in management is the flagship program, for which most of you have already applied, I understand. We also have a 6-month certificate program in crafting creative communications. We are offering 3 online programs, one a certificate postgraduate program in advertising management and public relations, postgraduate certificate in market research and data analytics, postgraduate certificate in retail management. Am I audible to everybody? I see some message which says nothing is audible. Could somebody from Career Launcher just acknowledge that I am audible to everybody? Okay, great. Thank you. So these are the programs that are offered by MICA. So the 2-year program is a flagship program, and those of you who are interested in the other programs, you can always put across your queries or revert to us later, but I'll focus right now on the 2-year postgraduate program in management. So essentially, the first question that I thought you should know, because typically when you appear for CAT, ZAT, or GMAT, you apply to a host of business management schools. MICA is slightly different, so maybe it's very important. Okay, is it audible? Am I audible now? Hello? So MICA is essentially a B school with communications at its heart. So typically if you look at the key differences which exist between all the other B schools and MICA is on these 4 parameters. One is the different curriculum that MICA follows, because it comes under the head of communications management, the pedagogy, the roles offered for the students, and the student activities at MICA. So these 4 are significantly different in comparison with most of the business management schools across India and the globe. Now, quickly to give you a perspective of what are the specializations that we have in the second year, because typically in any business management school, you have specializations in the second year which are essentially finance, marketing, production and operations, and HR. So in MICA, the difference is that in the second year, we have 4 specializations currently being offered, and this year we are introducing a 5th specialization in new media. So the 4 specializations that MICA offers are brand management, advertising management, media management, and marketing research. So as I said, this year we will be adding a 5th specialization, that is in new media, or we also call it as digital communications management. Okay, so in the first year, we do cover all the courses which a typical business management student does in the first year. So we do have finance courses, basic courses in strategic management, basic courses in operations and production, basic courses in organizational behavior and human resource development. So apart from these courses which a typical business management student does, a MICA student also studies communication related courses. Some of them are culture and communications, communication theory, gender roles, film studies. So these are some of them which are offered in MICA, which are not there in any other B school. So now I will run you through some of the specific courses that we are offering. So under general management, this is just an illustrative list which you are seeing on the slide. On our website, we have a exhaustive list which is there. So the illustrative list under general management courses include principles of management, organizational behavior and dynamics, interpersonal and group dynamics, elements of business finance, managerial economics and decision sciences, cost and management accounting, blue ocean strategy simulation, strategic management, supply chain management, business ethics, and more. Okay. So typically, we are saying that students are also exposed to subjects with a focus on rural competencies and developmental communications, as well as courses on semiotics, metaphors and narratives, culture and communications, film studies, etc., as I told you. So now, if we look at the four specializations under brand management, what kind of courses you have here? Typically in a business management school, you have one subject on brand management, or you have a product policy management and brand management, which is offered in the second year. Whereas in MICA, there is a specialization under brand management, and the courses that are offered in brand management are product and brand management, FMCG brand management, that is fast-moving consumer goods branding, services marketing, internet marketing, international marketing, luxury branding, sports marketing, business-to-business marketing, brand valuation, return on marketing investment, Markstrat, consumer behavior and insight mining. There is behavioral architecture and a lot more. I just mentioned to you a while ago that this is an illustrative list. So for the detailed list, do look up our brochure and the website. And if you have any specific queries, do write to us. I'll be very happy to share the entire list with you. So now typically a fresher starts in a sales function and graduates to mainstream marketing in case he or she is employed by a marketing organization. And sometimes they do land in roles like brand manager for some of them. So some of the noted alumni who are doing very well managing brands are there in the PPT I've just mentioned. People like Amrish Goyal, he's at Asian Paints, Arvind Krishnamurthy, he's product marketing manager with Apple, Durlav Barua, he's head internet banking with Deutsche Bank, Krishnendu Das Gupta, he's a regional brand management South Asia with HUL, Ruchira Jain, she is general manager marketing at PepsiCo, Rajdeep Chatterjee, general manager marketing at McDonald's India, Rakshit Tusu, relationship manager Manchester United, Sonika Chandra, business leader global processing strategy Visa, Venkat Netimi, vice president product development and management with Citigroup. So these are some of the alumni who are doing very well in brand management. So given the kind of designations they have, you know what is the future for a person who chooses to specialize in brand management. So next, looking at what is account planning. Account planning is also called advertising management. Advertising management is the specialization. So some of the courses offered here which are of use for a career in ad agencies are basics of account planning, advertising management, ad tracking and evaluation, account and campaign planning, account planning workshop, communication theory, culture and communications, Indian cinema. These are some of the courses offered. So as a fresher, one starts as an account planner and gradually moves up the planning ladder. So in an ad agency, if you know, there is client servicing, there is strategic planning, there is media, there is copy. From MICA, the ones who specialize in advertising management, they get into the strategic planning, that is the account planner's role or client servicing role. They are not trained to be to do creatives through this course. The 6-month program on crafting creative communications trains students to get into creative roles. So this distinction is very clear in the courses that are offered. So if you can see the noted alumni which are mentioned, I think I will take the questions. Okay, I can take it as and when you're asking me. I see there is a question from Nitika Nagrani. She asks, does account planning only lead to ad agencies? No, most students decide to specialize in two areas, and they choose to get into a brand management, that is into a marketing company, and whatever they have studied in account planning is of great help when they are managing brands. Okay, so what exactly entails account planning is her next question. Nitika Nagrani is asking this question. So account planning essentially would mean that account in advertising language means a client. Ad agencies have a lot of clients, right? So managing the entire needs of the client between the ad agency various departments and the company is what is managed by a student who a person who is employed by an ad agency. Hope that gives you an idea as to what is account planning. Okay. So now if you look at some of the noted alumni who are working with ad agencies, we were born out of Mudra Communications long time back in 1991, so we should not be very surprised to see a host of people from who are working at Mudra Communications. Okay, let me just complete this and then I will answer this question from Hemant Kumar. Okay, the noted alumni from ad agencies are Anirban M. He's Vice President Strategic Planning with Mudra Communications. Dheeraj, Chief Strategy Officer, he's with Bates 141. Dennis Koshi, he's Vice President JWT. Kunal Jeswani, he's Country Head India Ogilvy 1 and Neo Ogilvy. Saurabh Verma, he's Chief Strategy Officer with Leobanet Arc Worldwide. Neeraj Basi, Vice President Planning with Ogilvy and Mathur. Pradeep Ramakrishnan C, Vice President DDB Mudra Max Limited. Ashutosh Saune, Executive Vice President and Branch Head Publix India. Nabunil Chatterjee, Vice President and Executive Planning Director South, JWT. So these are some of the noted alumni who are doing very well in ad agencies, and there are more of them. As I said, this is an illustrative list. Now let me quickly take this question from Hemant Kumar. His question is, how does MICA help if I wish to establish my own education institution? Say if you want to do a 2-year program, definitely MICA helps you in specific areas which we have always said, which are our specialized, our expertise. But specifically, if you want to establish your own educational institution, there isn't a specific course which will tell you here is how you have to establish your educational institution. But yes, we do have courses in entrepreneurship which will definitely help you understand how to establish any business, whether it's a service or a product. Second, it also has a huge component in terms of inputs from developmental communication, so not-for-profit kind of organizations. There's a huge focus on not-for-profit organizations. So under that, if you are interested in establishing an educational institution, say for primary, for higher education, or whatsoever is your interest, I'm sure there are going to be huge takeaways. But the focus of the institute definitely is across the expertise areas that I'm talking of. We do have a lot of entrepreneurs in MICA. After having passed out from MICA, there have been quite a lot of entrepreneurs. Not sure if anybody has started an educational institution, but yes, they have started theater groups, they have started online ventures, and some other companies and all that. So if this answers your question, that's good, Hemant. Thanks for your question. Yeah, there's another question from Soumya Sarkar, which I will, towards the end of my presentation, you will see that response. So I will not take your question right now. I have a slide which specifically mentions the foreign universities, the MOUs that we have with foreign universities, and we do have them active. So the next specialization area that I will talk about is marketing research. The courses offered under marketing research, some of the courses offered are research methodology, multivariate data analysis, online research and data analysis, data analytics, applied areas in qualitative marketing research, advanced qualitative research, modeling in marketing research, econometrics for marketing research, advertising research, and more of them are being offered under this specialization. So as a fresher, one starts off as an analyst, researcher, and graduates to a domain expert or equivalent position. So some of the students who have specialized in marketing research and have gone on to do very well in the industry are the ones that I have mentioned here. This is just again a illustrative list. Vidya Venugopalan, she's a group business director with IMRB International. Madhumita Chakraborty, she's general manager, consumer insights, PepsiCo. Kartikeya Verma, he's head Nielsen Informate Mobile Insights. Vivek Kumar is managing director, IRIS Retail Intelligence Services. Anubha Gupta, director, the Nielsen Company. Tara Prabhakar, retail and shopper development director, TNS Global. Garima Doot, research director, Hansa Research. Aarti Shankar, account director, Millward Brown. Radhika Venkatnarayan, she is director, insights and qualitative practice, IMRB. Abhishek Banerjee, associate director, KPMG Advisory. So these are some of them. Now to take some questions, so there's a question from Priyanka Chetal. She asks, hi, marketing is my interest area and MICA is an esteemed institute offering advertising and marketing PGDM. If I am not looking forward to advertising and media, is brand management and marketing management a good option for me? Absolutely, Priyanka. If you are not keen on a career in an ad agency or a media company, brand management definitely is a good option for you. Brand management and marketing. There is marketing research too. As I've already shared with you, brand management and the kind of subjects and the kind of alumni who are doing very well in companies, it clearly indicates that there is a huge demand and you will be in the right place if you choose to apply to MICA and come in here if your interest is brand management. The next question is from Soumya Sarkar. Does MICA take too much into account the work ex profile during interview? For this question, the answer is this question of too much into account is I don't know how do you quantify while you are asking this question, but yes, we do not give any kind of a weightage for work experience in the selection process, but definitely we probe in the participants' work experience and see how the candidate fits in to MICA and career in future. So work experience definitely plays a role during the interview process. There's a question from Hemant Kumar. He asks, how much part of the curriculum is devoted to practical insight into business? Hemant, it will be interesting for you to know that the curriculum of MICA is also one of the differentiating factors between the other business schools and MICA. We ensure that there is a good mix of theory and practice in the curriculum. About 50%, if not more, definitely comes from the industry. We invite a lot of people from the industry to take forward all the theoretical learning that has occurred in the classes. So we do find that the students from MICA hit the road running as compared to other business management schools because of the kind of curriculum we have. So hope that answers your question. This next question from Arnab Rakshit. You have 70, he says he has 77 percentile in CAT. Does it make sense to write MICAT? Do people with such low scores convert? Let me clarify this. In our advertisements, we have clearly mentioned that we don't have a CAT cutoff. We give 20% weightage to verbal and 20% weightage to quantitative scores, and 60% of the weightage is on MICAT when we are shortlisted for the next process, that is GEPI process. Okay, so if you do very well in MICAT and if you have, if you're on the top of the list, then if you have done, if not done so well in CAT, then chances of you making to the final list is very high. The next question is from Soumya. Does experience like teaching in a school and changing the work profile be seen a positive? Soumya, it depends upon why you want to make this change and what is your interest. If you have been teaching in a school, I'm sure it is of some interest. It was of some interest for some good reason. You have joined that, and now for some good reason you want to shift from teaching in a school to communications management profile. As far as you are convinced about what you're doing, definitely it will be seen as positive, because people do shift from one profile to the other at various stages, and this is the stage where you know what you want to do, and even if there is a 90-degree or a 180-degree shift, I think as far as you know what you're doing, being seen as positive or negative doesn't count. So it will be positive if you are convinced. Question from Arnab Rakshit. I thought I answered the question of Arnab Rakshit. Now the next question is from Pradyumna Maladi. Is there any bias against engineering graduates? Absolutely no. We have a huge chunk of engineering students in our batch all the years, and they are fantastic. Some of the noted alumni are engineers. There's no bias against them, though we would want more aspirants from arts and humanities to convert, but definitely there's no bias against engineering students. Some of the very bright, creative, innovative minds are engineers who have been very successful in MICA over the years. There's a question from Amog Yenagi. Considering both the brand management and advertising management specializations, may lead to a career as a brand manager for various companies. Which pathway, in your opinion, is holistically better in a long-term perspective? This depends. The answer to this depends on the aspirant, Amok. Typically, in the industry, most people who get into brand management, they would want to get into brand management, and they continue to be in on the client side of the companies for a very long time. It depends upon where your interest lies. There are some people who would like to get into ad agencies essentially because they have a creative bent of mind. They are excellent in managing the accounts, and they have enough information. They have gained enough information, and because of their interest in that area, and they continue to nurture their passion by working in an ad agency. Shifting to the client side will not be very easy from an ad agency, but there have been people who have shifted. So I can't kind of specifically and categorically say that this is better or that is better. I would rather leave it to the student, because it again depends upon each person's interest. So at some point, if there is a one-to-one communication, maybe I can know what is it that interests you, and then I would probably advise you where you would want to go. Definitely, I wouldn't advise somebody either to just go in brand management or for advertising management individually. The next question is from Shyam Prasad. Will my IT WorkX background hinder me? Asking, since you mentioned that MICA looks at how WorkX aligns with MICA course and MICA course and curriculum. No, Shyam, your IT WorkX background will not hinder you. There are a lot of students who would have studied information technology, and they would have worked in IT companies, and they come in here, and it depends upon how and why you would want to join MICA, given the kind of expertise MICA nurtures in the participants. So definitely your background will not hinder you. It depends upon how you link it up and what are your interests. Hope that answers your question, Shyam. There's a question from Vijay Shankar. He asks how to approach MICAT. So he's asking about the test, how to approach MICAT. Can I answer this, take this question a little later in the slides? I'll give you the information what you need to do. So this is the second question, which I'll park it aside to take it a little later. From Priyanka Chetal, if a candidate, if candidate's CAT percentage is not very good, does the candidate still hold a chance to make it through if MICAT goes well? Yes, I've already answered this question. If your CAT percentage is not very good, you know that, say for instance in your quant you have slightly lesser score, but you've done your MICAT and verbal very good. So it means 80% of your score is good and 20% you have not done well. So chances of you making it through is very high. Hemant, yes, we have institutions from social sector visiting the campus under development communications. We have courses on development communication. So we do have, Gujarat government picking our students for their corporate communications, which is almost in the social sector. So that sector does very strongly exist in MICA. So there's next question from Priyesh Baduria. What skills we need to be a good brand manager? Skill sets, you should have the inclination and willingness to learn, and you should be your curiosity level should be very high, and you should be interested in communicating and interacting with a lot of people. So this is a basic skill set that I shouldn't say these are the skills. These are basic, the aptitude level that you need to have. Rest can be nurtured and developed over a period of time. So skills are in the courses that we are training you. So I already mentioned to you an illustrative list of the courses to ensure that all of you have enough potential to become good brand managers. So please refer to that. I'm sure you can access the slides. Thanks for the question. Okay, now I think I'll just go ahead with the rest of the slides, and then I see more questions about the entrance, the written test. I'll go there quickly so that we are on the same platform with the rest of the participants too, attendees too. So quickly about this media management, the courses offered are media economics, advanced media management, emerging media platforms, advanced audience and media research, business of media, print and electronic broadcast, media software workshop, TAM, IRS, media laws and ethics. So typically a fresher starts in marketing, brand management, and grows to functional head, strategic business unit head, profit center head positions, etc. Some of the noted alumni here are Shiradeep Gupta. He's a regional director with ASEAN Starcom Media West Group. Praveen Sharma, head of media sales, Google India. Prem Kamath, head Channel V. Pankaj Chowdhury, assistant vice president, Star India Private Limited. Sanjay Dua, CEO, Network 18 News Media. Vishnu Atreya, Director, Acquisitions and Product Development, Turner Entertainment. Vasant Rathod, Vice President, Strategy and Brand Development, Jagran Group. Trupti Vasudev, Head Marketing, FEVER 104 FM. Navneet LV, Vice President, Content and Revenue, Sun TV Network Limited. Sangeeta Nair, Group Manager Marketing with Radio Mirchi. So this gives you an idea about the concentration area or the specialization area on media management. So as I said, this year we are introducing a new course on digital communications management, which includes courses pertaining to the online space, and we do have a lot of companies looking forward to recruit people with digital communications management expertise. So that is where we are, and we are the only institute in India and the globe offering a specialization in digital communications management. Okay, so typically students go through these methodologies. They have a case study method, field projects, global learning through global immersion. They have enough theory, independent research they conduct, live industry projects, and more. So this is just to give you a glimpse of what's the pedagogy, because I've said this is also very unique to MICA compared to the other institutes. Now, based on what questions all of you are asking, we come to the selection process. In terms of what constitutes MICAT test essentially has a creative potential component, then there's a written test component, then there's a general awareness component, and there's a psychometric test component. So there'll be 4 components in the MICAT test. This test will be of 2 hours, 15 minutes. Test starts at 9:30 in the morning and closes at 11:45 on March 3rd. Now, how do we select students? Anybody who has applied for CAT or ZAT or GMAT can apply to MICA. The last date for application to MICA is January 29th, and we accept the completed applications till February 1st. So everybody who applies to MICA and their application is complete, they can write the MICAT exam on March 3rd. We will send in call letters to them once the date on February 1st is closed. So you will get your details of your center for the examination and all that. After this exam on March 3rd, we use 20% of your score in verbal across whatever test you've appeared, 20% of your quantitative score, and 60% of MICAT to shortlist you to the group exercise and personal interview process. Okay. So in the personal interview and from the group exercise and personal interview process, a further shortlisting is done. On the same day, we announce spot offers and general merit list, and some of them very clearly, if they don't make it to the mark, we will inform them that they might not have a chance to get admissions in MICA. And the total number of seats are 180. Psychometric test does play a role in MICAT, Vijay. This question is from Vijay Shankar. Psychometric test, essentially, you'll have to complete the test. It helps us in profiling the students. So definitely it is taken into consideration when we are assessing the candidate in totality. Okay. Prerna, no, it's Prama Neeraja. She asked a question, please shed some light on media management. What kind of career prospects post the program one can look forward to? I hope, I think this question came in when I was presenting or before I presented to you the media management specialization area. Hope that's clear based on the presentation. Do go to the slide in case if there's any specific query, revert to me, please. Thanks, Prama. I think there are some repeat questions. Okay, there is one question from Pradyumna Maladi. Through MICAT and later when you meet him or at the campus during GPI, what do you look in the candidates? What do you look for in the candidates? We essentially need to understand how well does the candidate do in a couple of aspects that we would have lined up. You would know what this group exercise and personal interview process is all about. In a group exercise, we essentially try and understand how well you would work in teams. In a personal interview process, your confidence about what you are doing and why is it that you would want to join MICA and what kind of a career you are looking for, or even the conviction of wanting to learn, understand and come in is something which would be important. These are just few things that I am saying. So when I am saying what do you look for in a candidate once you all come to the campus for GEPI, is not something which I can give you in crystal clear an answer, but most of you will be competing in the same space. Those of you who manage to kind of do better will get in. So hope that answers your question, Pradyumna. If not, please revert. I will try my level best to answer your question. Nikita Nagrani, will you take the best of CAT XAT GMAT course? Yes, Nikita, thanks for this question. If some of you have applied for more than one exam, then we will look at the best score of yours and only take that. So it will work to your advantage if you have given more than one score to us. There's a question from Career Launchers. Ma'am, if I have a good percentile in CAT and not so good percentile in that, and have applied through both, which one will be considered? Obviously, we will consider CAT. I have told that. Hemant has asked a question. Do you advise the prime course for a person who wishes to work for education in India? I don't know what is this prime course. Can you rephrase your question, Hemant? I don't understand your question. This question is from Arnab Chatterjee. In general awareness section, topics such as advertising, general global awareness, general knowledge, marketing and media will be enough to prepare? Yes, and more. I'm sure you keep, given your interest, you would be going through the news, and you have your interest in communication management and creative industries. I'm sure you keep yourself abreast of what's happening there. If you do that, I think you will be well equipped to write the general awareness section in MICAT. Yes, this question is from Vijay Shankar. He asks, would GK section in MICA be more from advertising, brands, media? Yeah, it is more inclined to that, but it doesn't mean that other questions are not asked. So it's general awareness question. But yeah, most of the questions will come from advertising, brands, and media. Okay, now this is question from Hemant. Do you suggest the prime course? So you're saying the flagship course, that is a 2-year program. He asks, do you suggest the prime course for a person who wishes to work for elementary education in India? Okay, so if your purpose is to work for elementary education and ensure that you communicate about elementary education and educate about it to people, and you want to market it accordingly, I think you will get the right input at MICA. So, so hope this answers your question, Hemant. Soumya Sarkar asks a question, what was the cutoff for MICAT last year? Soumya, there is no cutoff as such for MICAT, and we don't give this course out of MICAT. Maybe in future years we'll try and see how we can give this course, but there isn't a cutoff as such that we declare. Okay, Soumya has another question. How much can we expect would be the cutoff, and how many candidates does MICA call every year? Okay, so as I told you, for the written test, all of them who have applied with CAT, ZAT or GMAT score will be permitted to take the MICAT written test on March 3rd. After March 3rd, roughly about 600 to 800 candidates, that's an average which has been, I'm talking of based on the previous years, would be sent a call letter to come to the campus to go through the group exercise and personal interview process. And finally, a maximum of 180 candidates are selected for the course. When I'm saying maximum of 180, the reason I'm saying maximum is last year we've had 158 students. Prior to that, we had 161 students. So it is based on various other factors. We end up in taking the numbers accordingly. So there is a question from Nikita Nagrani. Okay, the question from Nikita Nagrani, I have already answered this question. So she's saying exactly what she's got in quant and verbal, but she's got very good communication skills. So what are the chances of getting a call if my MICAT goes very well? Chances are high, Nikita. I wish you all the best. Because it's always relative. Performance, I know that most candidates who make it to the GEPI process, or even the ones who are at MICAT who have done who have aspired to come in there. There are positives in everybody, but ultimately there is relative scoring that happens. So I would wish you all the best. There's a question from Manu Jain. He asks me what usually happens in psychometric profiling. Manu, I would prefer not to kind of answer these questions because it is done by a set of experts and we usually don't disclose the psychometric profiling. Thank you. But as a test, as a participant who takes this test, ensure that you complete all the questions in the psychometric section. Question from Hemant, 180 for the flagship course. Yes, Hemant, maximum of 180 students are admitted for the flagship course, which you are probably calling it as prime. There's a question from Vaibhav Garg. He asks what happens in group exercises. Vaibhav, the group exercises are slightly different from group discussions. In group discussion, a topic is given and people are 8 to 10 students are required to discuss around that. Whereas in group exercises, till last year, an activity is given and the group is required to implement, carry out, or do that activity, whatever is mentioned, which is very unique. Till last year, that is what has happened in group exercises. So you should expect something like that.
Dr. Anita, this is
I think some questions are yeah.
Can you tell that? Can you tell that out of 180 seats, how many seats are reserved?
We don't have any seats that are reserved. All of them are through merit.
Okay, fine. And I will throw some message on how to prepare for another.
Does that answer your
There is
question?
a patient story writing and your GDPI process is also different from that of other institutes. So please throw light to the students that how should one ideally prepare for MICAT.
Okay. As I told you some time ago, MICAT essentially has 4 sections. The written test, it tests creative thinking, general awareness, descriptive, that is the written test, and psychometric test. We always advise students to just follow their interests and keep themselves aware of their happenings around them and the industry that they are passionate about. And maybe those of you who are not into the practice of keeping yourself abreast of information of current happenings around you, maybe you need to work a little harder. So that is about general awareness. For the rest of the tests, your basic skills are what are important, and there is usually no coaching that is required for the rest of the tests, because psychometric test, you'll have to be your own self and just answer and be honest to yourself whatever is asked in there. In a descriptive test, that is written test, you'll be required to write on whatever question is asked to you. Last year, for instance, from the sample paper, if you look at, there's a question that is asked and you're required to take a stand and then write for the topic and against the topic and then write a press release, right? So your language abilities, your creativity, your the flow, the logic, reasoning, all that is extremely important. Then there's also a picture format question which is there, which is very unique in MICAT, and you're required to build a story around it. So even there, your creativity, your innovative ability, reasoning, those all, apart from ability to be very crisp and to the point, are very important for you to practice in case if you can. And the first test is creative thinking. I think those of you who have already prepared for either CAT, ZAT or GMAT, I don't think you need to do any additional preparation. Just come in a cool and calm state of mind, and I'm sure you'll do well in these tests. Now, for the next process, that is in the GEPI process, again, I would advise students to be their own selves and be confident and come and appear in the test. So in terms of preparation, all that I would say is do go through earlier social networking sites, or our students are constantly responding to your queries on the various social networking sites. So maybe their experience that they have had last year would be of help for you. The reason why I'm saying this is there's no clear-cut way in which you can crack GEPI, because it's not a math, so to say. It is essentially you are being confident and you're being clear about what you would want to do. And even if you're not clear about that, being confident about the fact that, okay, I don't know what I should be doing, but I'm sure that this will lead me to achieving X or Y or Z, whatever. So in that sense, this kind of a state of mind would help you do well in the personal interview process. The group exercise, as I told you, it's an activity. We essentially look at your team behavior in a team and how well you interact and perform in terms of managing your relations with those 7 or 8 other participants in those 30 minutes. So this is about group exercise and personal interview. Group exercise, another bit of input. You need not complete the task. You're not going to get marks based on how well have you as an individual completed, but what has the group as a whole done. Based on that, we do look at individuals, how they've contributed to that happening. Okay. Anything else that you need to know? Selection criteria? This person from Career Launcher who spoke to me just now, was there any other question about MICAT?
One more question. Since you give call, there is a every seat. So, when you prepare a merit list, what is the weightage of CAT score? In the weightage of CAT score, at the initial stage, you will be giving 20% weightage to at the initial weightage to verbal score, and rest to the MICAT. But after GEPI is only GEPI that scores at that time.
Thanks for your question. There is a committee which actually looks at this and finally draws up the final list. So I will not be able to comment on that right now. But definitely the weightage on GEPI definitely is so much more, because we've already taken the scores of CAT, that GMAT. But yes, the scores in MICAT, what they have scored is taken into consideration, but I'm sure it is very minimal, but I really can't comment on what is the percentage of that at this point of time, because it's a committee, as I said, who forms that prior to the selection process.
And what about negative marking? Is there any negative marking in MICAT?
Yeah, in MICAT written test, there is negative marking. Every correct answer will give you 1 mark, and every negative answer will take you back by 0.25 marks.
Okay. So there is usually negative marking. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And is there any company? Is there any company that visit MICAT placements that is engineering? Environment.
I can't recollect right now. What I will do is I just go through these slides. There would be something to do with the kind of companies. I can't recollect right now at this point of time, but last year there were people from development communication who came and recruited our students, but I can't recollect the name.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. You can move.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now I will take questions regarding the MICAT test too, but let me just go ahead with the presentation. So once you're on the campus, a couple of things, again, these are unique about MICA, so I thought I should share this with you. So these are the student activities which are very different, as mentioned, as to how MICA differentiates from the other business management schools. So we have this MICANvas, which is a annual brand management festival completely conducted by the students. That's a huge learning for them. There is a MICA run student consultancy wing, which does live projects, and they earn a little bit of money through that process. That's called as MICA Minds. There's a MICA lecture series which brings in people from the industry on a continuous basis. The very recent person was from Tata Nano, so people from IPL, Tata Nano, and various other companies come to MICA on a regular basis. Sankalp is MICA's theatre society. So every year the MICA students stage a play and commercially run it for 3 days in Ahmedabad in one of the very nice open theatres called Natrani. So they do very well. There have been a lot of students who have joined MICA because they are interested in theatre. And we also have some alumni who have started their own theatre group, which is called as Avam and the like. There are a lot of more student activities, which I am not putting them on the slides right now. Please refer to our website. And also there is this team interface who have been answering queries of most MICA aspirants. They've conducted city meets just answering queries, because essentially the MICAT test is very unique. So this is a student's initiative. Now the slide essentially also shows the initiative of this team interface, where they brought in Arjun Rampal and Chitrangada Singh and Sudhir Mishra on board just before the release of this movie In Car, and they had a discussion on gender roles and sexual harassment at workplaces. So student activities are a huge learning at MICA. So if you look at, I'm sharing the profile of 2011-2013 essentially because I will share their placement, because the ongoing batch placement I can't share the details at this point of time. So last year the gender ratio was 51% girls and 49% boys. So you can see the engineering students are 58%, arts 17%, science 8%, management 8%, commerce 4%, media 3%, and others were 3%. So we also had a dentist. We also have a dentist in the batch. So all that counts, the 4%. For 2011-2013, we achieved 100% placement as every year. So 75 companies visited for placements. Per candidate 2.05, that is 2 offers were made per company, and the highest CTC, that is cost to company, offered was rupees 19.5 lakhs. Average salary offered is rupees 8.5 lakhs. And these are some of the previous recruiters, so you can just have a look at these. You have the PPT, so you will have a look at it, so I will just move on. So right in the beginning, I think one lady had asked me this question: what are the international universities? What are the MOUs that we have with international universities? So these are the list of universities abroad with whom we have a memorandum of understanding, and students from there can come to MICA. There are 1 or 2 students or maximum of 5 students every year who come in during some or the other term to MICA, and from MICA varying number of students every year have gone to NTU, that's Nanyang Technological University, or SM in France, Southern Methodist University in Dallas. These are places where people have gone. Southampton Business School, Griffith University, University of Texas, Pan American USA. So these are institutes where we have an MOU right now. And the current leadership in MICA is looking at more opportunities for international training. There are more universities that we have tied up with. So the next year there will be more opportunities for people who manage to, get admissions in MICA. So here is where we are. Now I'm open to other questions that you have. So let me just look at questions, and if I have not answered any, I will only answer them.
Dr. Mira, there is one more question from a student.
Yes, please go on.
Like, for the to attend all the questions in psychometric section, all the questions in psychometric section?
Yes, it is necessary to completely attempt all questions in psychometric, because even if one question is not answered, we will not be able to do psychometric profiling for that candidate, and we might have to not take that candidate in. Even though we won't score that section, it's important to profile a candidate, and hence all questions in psychometric should be answered.
Okay, and what is
there is one question.
Yeah, his DAT score is more than CAT percentile, but in MICAT form there is no place to use that score. So is it right to say form in that in that competition in that?
No, I think there is a provision. Whoever is that student, could you please request that student to get in touch with our admissions office, and they would direct that student how to key in the score or what has to be done. And if they can just write an email to admissions@micamail.in, somebody will respond ASAP and help the student, help the aspirant to fill up the form accordingly. Or even if it's already filled, they will go ahead and suggest what needs to be done, and they'll help the student out in terms of making the necessary modification if required.
Okay, another question is that, getting question. Is it a student getting the student? Is it right this or his right of student of something?
The choice is completely the candidates. When we are saying a story, we are not evaluating the candidate based on a story. It's based on how creative, how innovative, how the reasoning ability and the flow. These are the kind of things which are important. So it's completely the candidate's choice to write the answer to that question.
Okay. And for psychometric section, in the other section, one can attend according to his or her own wish. He does not need to attend all the questions.
Absolutely.
Okay. So Arnab, I would request you to remain to MICA's authority. They will help you out with your forward. And other students can ask questions to Dr. Questions.
I see that there is one question which is from Priyanka Chetal. She asks, I think she means group exercise. Is group exercise an elimination round or GPI one round as a whole? Priyanka, it's one round as a whole. G is not an elimination round.
Dr. Mika, can you tell me how should prepare for G and for the story writing section?
As I told you before, for this group exercise, I think all that they need to do is just look at the social networking sites about the previous students' experience. Okay, there isn't anything that they need to prepare otherwise. the activities are not rocket science. Extremely simple activities are mentioned, and students are required to do those activities as a part of the group. So it's more of interpersonal relationship and how do they kind of behave in a group, which is very important. So typically there's no preparation for that, right? So we essentially evaluate a student's basic existence, in terms of how the aspirant behaves in a group, and certain kind of skills do come out based on the activity, how they perform, what their ideas are, because they are speaking and they are dealing with people. So these are the kind of things that they are doing. So I would suggest, if at all it means preparation, if this means preparation, then please look up social networking sites where the previous MICA aspirants have explained their experience. Maybe that should be some kind of information for you. Apart from this, I don't suggest any preparation as such that you need to go through for the group exercise process. And for the second one, which you said, story writing, picture format, if you want to brush up your verbal skills, for those of you who have some kind of adequacy there, yes, please do what you have to in terms of getting better at writing and your language skills. Apart from that, in terms of ideating, your creative ability, I think that is what is, over a period of time, it depends. Creativity as a skill, I think it's overnight or just by 3 or 4 sessions, you can't get very creative or you can't get lesser creative, isn't it? So I'm not very sure if you can actually coach yourself to getting there through that route. But yes, language abilities, if you think you need any kind of brushing up, please do so.
Okay. Manu, question. Okay. That is not like that. And Dr. Anita, there are many students who are there is only one regarding that. So I would request you to drop a mail. I would request all of you to drop a video form. Please help out with the form. And Dr. Anita is, does the academic background matter in the
No. That is something which we don't take into consideration. So we do definitely in the personal interview process, it depends. You could be grilled about your domain knowledge in the interview process, but your marks that you have scored in your undergrad or 12th or 11th or 10th is not taken into consideration.
And many students are asking about the infrastructure of this and go to the application of the section to find MICAT and so rough idea and like, is there anything you would like to add, Dr. Anita?
I would really wish the students all the best, and it's very important that you hold on to your ground in terms of your interests. I know it's not easy to be making a choice when there are so many institutes and each of them is unique in their own way. Ask yourself a question whether you're really interested in any of the fields that MICA offers you, and if it really interests you, just put your heart and soul in it, and just be confident, because that is very important. It will take you to greater heights. For those of you who will make it, that's wonderful. Those who don't, I'm sure there are better opportunities and other opportunities that are awaiting you, because in life you will there are always crossroads when you'll make it or you'll not make it. So I really wish you all the best, and if there are any queries at any point, any specific queries that you have, which if we have answers for that, we will definitely respond. Irrespective of whether we have answers or not, we will definitely respond. Do write to us at admissions@micamail.in. And we wish to see most of you on the campus during GEPI process and later at MICA. All the best.
Yeah, Dr. Anita, there is a funny question that is there any significance of MICA logo that is having 2 pyramids? So, like, does it connote something? Is there any trivia behind it?
Yes, yes, yeah, precisely. That's the reason. Most of the times there are questions on this. So to help you all, here is the answer that is there on the slide. It says, I'll read it out to you. The symbolism of MICA's logo has been explained thus. The 2 triangles are the basic structural units of the rock crystal mica. The purity and symmetry of the rock crystal lending itself to purity of thought and its logical, rational application. The 2 triangles also symbolize the beginning of MICA's objective and their accomplishment. The first triangle, which is right now seen in blue, that's actually in gray if you look at the MICA logo. In gray color is the untutored raw pupil. The second triangle in white is the graduating student, clear and perceptive in his or her thinking. So that's how the 2 triangles of MICA were formed way back in 1991.
Okay, so I think we have covered almost everything regarding admission process of MICA. And if there is anything, you can always drop a mail to admissions@MICA, and my authorities will help you out definitely in no time. And so I think it's over. So
thank you very much. Thank you, Career Launcher, and all the best to all of you.